Check 1, 2.
Good evening. Welcome to Don Tyson School of Innovation. I am Kelly Bortz, and I always say I get to be principal here because I love my job. I love coming to school here every day, and tonight is one of my most favorite nights of the year when we welcome families who are interested in enrolling for the following school year. I love to talk about our school, and I'm excited to share the opportunities that we have for your students tonight at Don Tyson School of Innovation. So we will get started. Thank you for being here. So this is our administration team. I'll go from right to left. So Mr. Tom Doppy is one of our assistant principals. Ms. Chelsea Perry is an assistant principal. Dr. Shay Hopper is one of our assistant principals, and she actually is over our Virtual Innovation Academy. So I know some of you are current virtual students and probably are familiar with her. And then some of you may be interested in virtual, and Dr. Hopper is here tonight to support our virtual students. Miss Amy Harrison is one of our assistant principals, and Mr. Aurelian Sennett is an assistant principal as well. So they're all here tonight along with our amazing counselors, and then some of our staff is here to support us as well. So just on behalf of our entire staff, we welcome you. So the first thing I'd like to share with you is the mission and vision of Don Tyson School of Innovation. We are not a traditional school, and so as we talk about our learning model and the things that we do here at our school, you'll realize we're different. We were designed to be different. And so our mission is to inspire all students to imagine their greatest dreams through an innovative education. And you'll see that as we talk about our school tonight. Our vision is advanced, accelerated college and industry. And so I want to talk about these pieces tonight with you for just a moment. So advanced, we offer courses for completing advanced placement programs. So we have GT here at our school. If your student's already involved in GT at another campus, we do offer that on site. In 6th and 7th grades, it looks like a GT program, although it looks a little bit different here in the way we serve students. And then when your student enters 8th grade through high school, through graduation, we serve students through advanced classes and those advanced placement classes. So pre-AP as it's commonly called, as well as AP. Accelerated, so coursework with opportunities for an accelerated pace. So we are a public charter conversion school, and so what that means is we still operate under the Springdale Public Schools umbrella. So we are a public school, but we are a charter school within the public school system. So we have waivers that allow us to offer your student courses that may be blended together and even at an earlier grade than they would take probably in another school. So our students, beginning in 7th grade, our 7th grade students can take Spanish 1 for a high school credit. That doesn't mean that we say every student should take Spanish 1 in 7th grade for that high school credit, but if your student is ready for that, we do have that option in 7th grade. And then in 8th grade, your student would begin taking quite a few classes, and we'll go over those in a little bit, where they're getting high school credit. The reason that we do some of the accelerated coursework is so that our students, when they get in 11th and 12th grade year, when they hit those years, that they have internship and career practicum experiences. So your student, when they get to 11th grade, they may only need a couple of their graduation requirements, but that means we support your student in helping find internships and different placement opportunities for them on campus as well as off campus. So we do have that accelerated pathway. That doesn't mean every student is on that pathway. We truly believe in personalization of education, so we want your student to be challenged, and we really design a pathway that is truly personalized just for them. But being able to blend classes, you might get 2 credits within 1 class, and so we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. College, so we have a pathway for our students to earn an associate's degree by the time they graduate from high school. Every student here doesn't do that, but there's a pathway to do that. So students beginning in the 9th grade can start taking concurrent, which means they're getting high school credit and college credit at the same time, and they could start working on concurrent credits that could lead to an associate's degree if that is the pathway and your student is ready for that. And so we have a great model for concurrent credit through Northwest Arkansas Community College. We have a great partnership, and we also have an exciting partnership that we have just designed with Sam M. Walton College of Business through the University of Arkansas in partnership with NWAC, where students actually are on a pathway that they would be able to enter Sam M. Walton College of Business after high school graduation. They would be 3 credits or 3 courses shy of an associate's degree when entering that. So I know a lot of you have 6th graders, but we always want to start talking about the opportunities that we have at Don Tyson School of Innovation, because that's what our school is about opportunities that we can offer your students. And so it's never too early to be talking about that, because We do have a full campus, so obviously seats are limited. With that charter status, we take students in the order by grade level that you complete our intent to enroll, which we'll go over in just a little bit. And we take students based on the number of seats available, and again, we'll cover that in depth in just a few minutes. Industry, so we have a beautiful campus that we have areas that are connected and provide hands-on learning for career and technical education opportunities. And so when we talk about industry, we realize that we have students on a pathway to a 2-year college, a 4-year college, and some may have this great skill set that they want hands-on, and they may not be planning on going to college, but we want to make sure that they have the skill set and career pathway that helps them leave our campus and be able to go into a high demand, high wage field. And so we'll be talking about that a little bit throughout the night as well. So you'll see what that looks like here on our campus. This school would not exist without community partnerships. And so obviously Tyson is the name of, Don Tyson School of Innovation is the name of our school. So we have a great partnership with Tyson Industries, but it goes beyond Tyson and our community who invest in our programs here on campus. They work with us to open up internship opportunities for our students. And so we have community on our campus every day working with our students, and then our students go out into the community and work with our business and industry partners as well. So the Don Tyson School of Innovation student is seeking an innovative way of learning, desires student voice and choice, wants an enhanced school experience with opportunities to graduate with an associate's degree, college credit, workforce credentialing, certifications, and internship opportunities. So we always say if a student graduates from Don Tyson School of Innovation with only their high school diploma, they have missed a lot of opportunities because we have supports in place. Our school is designed for students to graduate with something in addition to their high school diploma that prepares them for college or career. And so our school, we are a totally different learning model. We were designed to be a different learning model. And so the beauty of Springdale Public Schools is that we have schools who are designed more traditionally, and then there was a vision for a different learning model that provided hands-on opportunities and an enhanced learning experience. So we do something called competency-based education. And so it's a learning model where we truly give students multiple opportunities and ways to learn content. We recognize everybody doesn't learn the same way, and everybody doesn't learn the same pace. So what we truly believe is that when a student is working on mastering a standard, so here are all the things a student needs to know, like the essentials. Everybody may master that essential at a different time period, and we recognize that. And so students have multiple opportunities, again, to show learning over a period of time. So if you don't know something right now, it means you don't know it yet. But we believe that it is important for you to know and that you have opportunities to demonstrate that learning beyond that moment in time. Learning takes time, so learning goals are assessed over an entire semester. So it is a semester or a year-long grading system. Students have voice and choice in your learning process. Students and parents know the targets that you're aiming for. So it is very important for us and our teachers that when a student is learning something, that they know what they need to know and that the parent knows that as well. And so we have those learning targets identified by grade level. And grades are based off of evidence of learning, not points, or not how quickly a student learns or behavior. It's truly about what a student knows. And then all students make progress toward meeting or exceeding So we have beginning, approaching, meeting, or exceeding, but we believe every student has that opportunity to reach that meeting or exceeding level, and we support them in that. And students may start at beginning or approaching early in the learning process, and that's okay. But then they move up those levels to the meeting or exceeding. So that's just a little bit about our learning model that we have at Don Tyson School of Innovation. So we are on something called a block schedule, and so we put this up here just so you can kind of get a visual of what that looks like. So we have A days and B days. So on A days, a student has 4 classes, and on B days, a student has 4 classes. So in a traditional middle school, you would go to every class every single day, and it would probably be 45 minutes to 50 minutes. And so our classes are on 90-minute blocks, and you have 4 classes a day. For 6th graders, your math is double blocked, so that's the only class that you go to every day. But you would have math with the same teacher each day, and then you would have a 1A class, a 2A class, a 3A class, a 4A class, and then you would have the different classes on the B days. And we just noted that lunch is determined by a 2A or 2B teacher, and that kind of is what a block schedule looks like. And so this, for a lot of our programs that students are working hands-on, and really gives us a chance to be in depth with students, this block scheduling truly is a really good experience and gives time for projects and hands-on learning that sometimes if you're on that 45-minute schedule, you get set up and it's almost time to go by the time that happens. So most people love a block schedule, and so that's what it looks like. We do something called I-Times on Wednesdays. Your students may be doing something similar at their schools. A prime time is sometimes what it's called. But on Wednesday, our schedule looks a little bit different. We rotate between A days and B days on Wednesdays, but we have blocks of time during the school day where your student would be able to say, hey, I need some extra help with math, or a teacher may say, hey, this student is not at meeting or exceeding yet, so I'm going to pull them and work with them on this specific learning goal or this learning target. And then your student also has opportunities to sign up for enrichments that we have on campus. And we also do something on Wednesdays. It's called Real World Wednesday. And so we have guest speakers tied to different business and industry who actually come in and do 45-minute sessions with our students. So students can be involved with the community and hear those speakers and learn about different careers, and that is every Wednesday. Actually, 2 times on Wednesdays that we normally have different speakers, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. And so this is something that's probably going to be new unless your student is at Rollins Elementary right now. So we do something called zone learning. So we have some classrooms, but we don't have a lot of classrooms. Our zones are open zones, and they're normally 4 classes in a zone. So each class still has a space in the zone. There's a teacher with every class, but you could have, 120 to 150 students in a zone, and that sounds crazy, but it's amazing when you walk in how manageable the noise level is, and how students are on task, paying attention, but this zone really supports the competency-based learning that we have here. There's a lot of breakout space. You can see on the right-hand side of the screen the little glass box that has some chairs. There's a lot of breakout spaces that either a class would go to or a group of students who would be working on a project. So there's lots of breakout spaces within the school. I always say even our hallways are designed for learning spaces. So the goal of this is that students are our students. They're not just one teacher's students. And we support that by having the open zone learning, the hallways that are designed for learning as well, that students have space to break out or classes have space to go to a different location if they need just a different learning environment for something. Okay, so this will be posted on our website, this whole slideshow that we're sharing tonight. And on this slide, and if you have your phones right now, you can actually scan the QR code. The one at the right, on the top right, is a 6th grade course selection sheet. And I'm going to go ahead and ask if you could pull that up for me. Okay, so when you are kind of making a decision if you want to complete the intent to enroll for Don Tyson School of Innovation, this course selection sheet, for whatever grade you're going to be in next year, you would be able to look at the course selection sheet. So the DTSOI 6th grade course selection sheet means current 5th graders, this is the sheet you would be looking at for next year because you will be a 6th grader. And as you're looking at this, it will have some things already selected for you. These are required classes. Every 6th grader takes these classes. So we have humanities, which is your English and your social studies. And then you have a math. So we have a grade level math and then an advanced math class. A required science. Every student takes Science 6. And then the 4th step is a college and career readiness class. And so we are on a block schedule, so students have a total of 8 classes. You have your 4 core. The 5th requirement is a college and career readiness class. So every student who comes to school at Don Tyson School of Innovation on site, we're a 6th through 12th grade campus on site, enrolls in this course. This course is foundational to a student's success on this campus. And so within these classes, we have state, this is an example of the charter status allowing us to blend some classes together. So within the college and career readiness class in 6th grade, your student has to take a state required course called Tools for Learning. It's embedded in your CCR class, and your student has to have PE. And so one day a week, students do their PE through this class. So they're getting college and career readiness, which focuses on, even in 6th grade, we start talking about opportunities at Don Tyson School of Innovation. We start supporting students with soft skills that employers and colleges tell us, here's what we need from your graduates. We start working on that with them. They have exposure to all of our pathways on campus. It really, especially for 6th graders, supports students in being a student here. We're a big campus. We have lots of programs and opportunities, and so these CCR teachers really support the student in learning how to use Schoology, which is a learning management system that we use. They help them with emails, they just soft skills, and again, a lot of the technology skills that they get in that Tools for Learning class obviously are embedded in that. So every year, a student would be enrolled in a college and career readiness class. And again, it's either a state required class that is embedded in there. 6th grade is Tools for Learning. 7th grade, it's an intro to careers. So there's a careers class for 7th grade. 8th grade, it's a survey of business class. 9th grade, oral comm. So you start hitting those graduation requirements in college and career readiness once you start in 8th grade, but in 6th and 7th grade, they're state required courses that are embedded. And then these are electives. So going from 5th grade to 6th grade, you now have a lot of choices, and you can't do everything, although it would be awesome if you could. So this kind of tells you how many electives that you're able to select. For 6th and 7th grade, what our goal is that we are giving students opportunities to take electives that tie to our pathways once they hit 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, that they can get the internship opportunities in. And so these all support those pathways, and then obviously fine arts. And so you will see that we have art, modern dance, we have theater, beginning band, beginning choir. We are the only school in the district, if not Arkansas, that has an orchestra program, and those students can begin this in 6th grade. And then you see all of the other pathways that students are able to select from. I will say, like, you probably would have more choices as far as electives at our campus than a traditional middle school, and it's the design of our building because we are 612, and so a lot of those programs like drones, robotics, computer science, and then foreign language as well, being able to have those in 6th or 7th grade. So that's just an example of a course request sheet that your student would be filling out if they were, if you complete the intent to enroll, and then your student is accepted based on the order that they came in, time, date, stamp. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Okay, so these are career and technical programs and pathways that we have on campus here. And again, 6th graders and 7th graders can select some of these as we've designed classes in those grades that support these pathways. So we have agriculture here, AV, tech, and film. And so they actually are live streaming our session tonight. Business and marketing, we have construction trades, we have culinary arts, we have an education pathway, like a pre-teacher program, service and technology, education accelerated by service and technology, which is EAST, engineering and robotics, graphic design, industry technology, medical science, program and software development, and unmanned aerial systems, which is our drones program. So extracurricular activities that we have on campus. We do have a GT program. We have intramural athletics, basketball, volleyball, soccer, tennis, dance. We'll go ahead and talk about AAA sanctions athletics. So on our campus, the Arkansas Activities Association athletics that we have on campus, we have cross country, track, and esports. And so students can participate in those programs. Cross country, I think 6th graders can actually start in cross country program. And if a student wants to do a sport or an activity that we don't offer on this campus, so say that somebody wants to play basketball. So if you want to play basketball like on a competitive school team, we provide transportation to the nearest school who has that program. So if you're a 6th grader and you want to play basketball, you would have a travel period on your schedule, and the Springdale Public Schools would have a bus that would come pick you up, take you to Sonora Middle School is the closest middle school, so that's where you would participate. Junior high, you would participate at Lakeside, and high school, the closest high school to us is at Springdale High School. So the district will provide transportation to any activity or athletic that we don't provide on this campus at the nearest school. Now, if you are a Springdale student and you live, let's say, in George Junior High zone, and so you want your student to play football at George Junior High and not Lakeside, they can do that, but the district doesn't provide transportation other than the nearest schools. And that's just the best way for us to be able to do it, to make sure we're not having kids on a bus too long, going back and forth. But that is built into their schedule. We have somebody who manages our transportation, so your students are supervised until they load a bus to go to the school that they're playing that athletic at, and then they would come back and be dropped off and then go to class. And so that is the way something works if you're playing on a team at another school. So the closest ones in proximity, we provide transportation to. We do intramurals. So what we do is we have an intramural schedule, and we have students sign up for those. And if a student signs up, they're guaranteed to be on a team, and we design the teams around the number of students who sign up for our intramural activities. And those are right after school on this campus in our gym. And so that is something that kids love to do, those intramural sports on campus. We have a lot of student clubs. We have academic organizations. We have academic competitive groups, debate, band, choir, orchestra, and we also have a student leadership council. So that just kind of covers some of the extras that we have at Don Tyson School of Innovation. And this again is just the in-district and not in Springdale district policies for AAA activities that I just kind of covered. So you can play at your zone school, but you do have to have transportation, and then the schools we provide transportation to. If you're an out-of-district student who will be coming to us for school choice, you would have to play at Sonora Middle School, Lakeside, and SHS. That would be like your only choice to access those sports. Okay, so transportation. So if you live in Springdale, you're zoned for Springdale Public Schools, the district provides transportation for your student to and from this campus. And so what that looks like is your student would get on the bus, the normal bus that goes to their zone junior high. And so we would say, help you make sure that you know what bus would pick up that would take you to your zone junior high. And then once your student got to the junior high school, there are buses that are dedicated to bringing students from that zone junior high to our school. And so there are buses that leave earlier, and then there are buses that leave until the last bus drops off at that zone school to make sure we have all of our students. And so they bring them to school here, and then in the afternoon we reverse that process. Students load buses here, and then they go to their zone junior high, and then they get on the bus to go home. So transportation, again, is provided. And what we do in the very beginning is we have our staff go to the junior high schools in our DTSOI t-shirts in the morning and in the afternoon for that first full week of school to make sure your student knows that process. Like, you get to the junior high, our people are waiting there when they get off the bus. We say, this is the bus you get on to come to Don Tyson School of Innovation. So we do have a virtual campus under Don Tyson School of Innovation, and we are a K-12 virtual school. And so we have a very unique learning model here. So even before COVID, we had virtual. So we've had a virtual school for about 7 years now. And so we had a 6-12 virtual model. And then last year with COVID, we added K-5. So now we have a K-12 virtual campus. And then we also have students who are 100% virtual. They do all of their classes online. And then we have something called blended. So we have students who come on maybe A days on campus to take classes, and then on B days, you would take online classes. So your schedule would be designed so you are on campus when you have classes, and you're at home on a day that you're scheduled in those online classes, and we call that a blended student. So that is just one unique thing to our learning model here, is that we do have 100% virtual, and we have that blended option as well. And we do have criteria you have to meet to be able to do full virtual or that blended model, that you just have to make sure that you're staying on track and your progress is adequate. Okay, so timeline for enrollment. So again, we're a public charter conversion school, which means no one is zoned to come to school at Don Tyson School of Innovation. So anyone who is a student here has completed an intent to enroll, and so in February every year, we open up our intent to enroll. So on February the 15th at 10 a.m., that form opens and it's on our website. And if you go to our website, there will be a button, and it's probably already there now, intent to enroll. And you would click on that and you will go to a form, and it will not open before 10 a.m. on the 15th. So when that opens, you fill out the form and it comes in, your intent to enroll for your student comes in, and there's a time, date, stamp, and they just come in order that they're submitted. And our charter requires us to take students in the order of that submission. So we don't do a lottery, we don't look at anything, any grades, tests, we don't look at any of that. Our charter says we go off time, date, stamp, based on our seats available. And so students and parents, you will fill that out, and then that week, that opens on the 15th, and throughout that week, we will be sending you notification that your student has a seat available or your student would be put on a wait list. And so the email will say, you either have a seat, here are the instructions, or you have a wait list, and here's how we work the wait list. So what happens with the wait list is we have students based on time, date, stamp that we say you have a seat. And then if you're an in-district student, you have to complete an in-district transfer. So we would send you an email saying you have a seat, complete this in-district transfer before March 4th. And on March 4th, if we don't have that in-district transfer, we give your seat up to the next person in line. If you are an out-of-district student, you have a few more steps that you have to go through. You have to complete the registration, which is through an online portal called Registration Gateway. We will send you the link and instructions to do that. You will be coming to us on a school choice option, and so there's a school choice form that you have to fill out and submit to us. And so you have a few more steps, but that has to be done before March 4th. So on March 4th, we start releasing some of the seats that we don't have all of the paperwork for or the intent to enroll for. So on March 4th, we start going down the wait list based on the grade and the seats available. And so that kind of is how the process works. So you will get an email back saying it's confirmed that you've submitted this form. So throughout from that day, the 15th through the 18th, we will send confirmations that you have a seat. So if your friend gets one on Tuesday, but you haven't gotten yours by Wednesday, give it till Friday, because you're either going to get one saying it's confirmed or you're wait listed, but we get so many, it just takes us a while to go through those, and then we get a lot of duplicates, so we have to weed through those. So it's just a process that takes a week. So from the 15th, late afternoon, through that Friday before 4 o'clock, you will either get an email that you have a seat or you have a wait list, that you're on the wait list. Don't panic if you're on the wait list, because that March 4th date, like, we end up having seats that we open up to people who are on the wait list.
Ms. Bortz keeps saying March 4th, it's March 11th. So if you notice up there, March 11th is when that final date is on there.
Thank you. It's March 11th, so you have a little more time than March 4th. Thank you for fixing me. Yeah. They do that all the time because I make a lot of mistakes. Okay. Okay. How do you declare your intent to enroll? Again, you go to soi.sl.org. That's our website. You click on 2023 Don Tyson School of Innovation Declaration Intent to Enroll. It will be on that home page. Like if it's not there that week before, it'll be there. You can click on it and it just will say this form hasn't been open or it's not open yet for submissions. And you will complete that. It's pretty simple. You'll need your student's birth date. It'll ask what school they're currently attending, but it's just their name, your name, just those basic information pieces. Okay, so tonight we had planned on giving everybody a tour of the whole campus. COVID has made us shift a little bit of some things. So our staff that we would normally have here, we've had a lot of teachers out, and the teachers that we do have, we need to keep them at school. So we have a virtual tour for you that we're going to show, and I feel like it gives you a very in-depth tour and insight into the school. And so we're going to go ahead and do that now, and when we conclude, we'll have time for some questions that are good for the group. And then if you have specific questions just that pertain to your student, our staff will be going across the hall to the, we call it the STEM gym. We'll be over there, band and choir will be over there as well, but we're happy to stay and answer questions tonight. But we're going to go ahead and do this first, and then we will do group questions.
In a complex world, students deserve every advantage we can give them, so their future truly takes flight.
Thanks, it's for a school project.
All right. Morning. Do you have your ID? All right. Thank you. Have an awesome day.
We struggled to start the map test with everybody else.
So the test is $150, and obviously no kids.
And strapped to kites to perform military operations.
And we deliver our like.
In 10 seconds, counting down. 4, 3, 2.
I'm Victoria Velasquez, and you're watching Phoenix News.
So we're going to bevel our stock. Our stock here now. Once you get it programmed in, we'll run it around the front, the back, and the side. back to the beginning again. All right. Once you're comfortable with that, press go. All right.
Hey, I just posted a link onto Schoology with the recipe. Go ahead and check it out and follow the directions.
I like not fair terms and a village line.
Turn up the lights a little bit and turn down the audio.
This one.
At the Don Tyson School of Innovation, we take pride in laying those opportunities at your feet.
So that is an example of student work. So that was a collaboration between our drones students and our AV Tech students. They did the recording, the editing, and put that video together for us. So that's just an example of opportunities that our students have, and they did an amazing job. So I just wanted to share that piece of information. One thing I didn't really hit on, I don't think, and elaborate on, who knows what esports is? Have y'all heard of esports? So that is a AAA, which is an Arkansas Athletic Association sanctioned sport, and kids actually compete on video games. And so we are a 3-time state champion for esports. So we hold the state title in esports, and that's just one extension of our growing and exciting computer science program that we have at Don Tyson School of Innovation. And so we have kids who stay after school every day and practice, and then they compete, and we've had great success with that. So that is an exciting opportunity here. So we have Mr. Doppy, who's in the back. If you have a question that is good for the group, that pertains to our school that I didn't cover, we have time for some questions now. Up here. Right here.
What are the classroom sizes, and how many students will be, how many seats are open for 6th grade?
Good question. So class sizes are anywhere from 25 to 30 students in a class. Some of our elective classes for career and technical education would not go over 25 because we either have the computers for that space that limit the number in there. And we will take 300 6th graders. And so those spots fill up really quick. And so in the past, those seats have filled up probably in the first 15 to 20 minutes. Again, it takes us a while to work through them to make sure we don't have duplicates and things like that. And so we would open up 300 seats for 6th grade. What that looks like is we currently have 300 6th graders. Those 300 6th graders are moving up to 7th grade. And so what it looks like now is for 7th grade, we already have 300 kids. Our goal is 300. Every class is about 300. And so we don't have really any open seats for 7th grade, but we do that waiting list because normally in the summer, families move or, this may not be the best fit for their student. So we do have just a little bit of, movement in the summer. So what we do is, like for grades that are already full, we do that waiting list, and then as one person moves out, who's the next person in line. And so 6th grade will be 300 total seats. Any other questions for the group?
How are you?
Good.
I'm curious, what type of interactions are our 11 and 12-year-olds going to have with 15, 16, 17-year-olds?
That's a great question, too.
As far as daily interactions, walking through the halls, classes, lunches, everything of that nature.
Yeah. So that's a great question. We are very unique here because we are 6 through 12. And so what that looks like is the entrance that you see when you're on Hilton Road, we call that's phase 1, or we call it Phoenix West. And so 6th through 8th grader, their core classes are in that building that you see when you're on Hilton Road. It connects to phase 2 or Phoenix East, where 9 through 12 have their core classes. 6th and 7th graders have a separate lunch. They have the first lunch. So 6th and 7th graders eat a lunch totally separate from your 8th through 12th grade students. There are classes that are tied to spaces in each building. So a lot of our career and technical classes are in spaces in each building, and kids from all grade levels at different times would go to those elective spaces. And we provide, very tight supervision for our 6th and 7th graders. Our 8th through 12 have a little bit more flexibility on campus. And we really are very intentional when school starts in supporting those 6th and 7th graders, getting them to class and locations. But they do have opportunities where they're, like in the mornings, we have a lobby area where we have something called the Hilton Hangout. So our small business operations class, they actually operate a coffee shop. And so we have 6th and 7th graders come over to the coffee shop and get coffee. They normally don't stay in that area, but they'll come from the cafeteria where they normally wait for classes to start to the Hilton Hangout. And then in the hallways, they're passing at times too. So I will say we have, if a lot of times if there's any issues, it's the older kids saying, hey, the 6th grade and 7th graders are, bugging me. But we have had minimal issues with having 6th through 12th graders on campus. The open zones help with that too, because teachers are everywhere. And so there's supervision, anywhere you go in this building. So, but they do interact, but we have it managed different lunches, and where a lot of students are out in the building at one time, we do have structures in place where 6th and 7th graders are in different areas than the 8th through 12th grade students.
Yes, this is for the 6th grader who will be guard rider. So how long they can hang out in the school after the school is finished?
Yes, so that's a good question. So we have a lot of students who do live out of district or who don't take the transportation that the district offers. So our building opens up at 7:30 in the mornings. And then in the afternoons, normally somebody's in the office until about 5, but we have a lot of things going on campus. So we have esports, we have band and choir, have things in the afternoons. So students are on campus till 5:30 or 6 sometimes with different things going on. We have this area on each side of the building where we call it the glass box. So it locks going into the school, but it's a heated area, and students, if they're getting picked up later, can wait in that area. But supervision, unless they're in a something after school, would end at 5. But again, that area is open for students. But if you know that you need to pick up your student later, I would suggest like finding something that's meeting after school that your student can be involved in.
My daughter was just wondering what kind of storage they would have. Like, would there be lockers? Would they carry everything with them?
Yeah.
Is everything on a tablet?
Yeah, we don't have lockers, so students carry their backpacks. And we are one-to-one technology, so when your student comes to school here, we issue your student a Chromebook. They take it home. They're responsible for it. They're responsible for bringing it back charged the following day. So that is issued within the first couple of days of school. Any other questions for the group? Oh, okay.
I was just wondering if there's like a school-wide philosophy on homework.
You know, there are classes that a student might have something that they need to work on at home. I don't think that, you know, we're a school that issues a ton of homework. Some students who may not, you know, have time in class to finish something that day, they're able to work on that the following day. So I don't think that we have really a school-wide policy, but our teachers do a great job of supporting students and not issuing tons of homework that they're doing at home. Okay, so what we're going to do at this time, so our counselors and some of our CCR teachers are available across the hall in the STEM gym. So you'll just go out this door. You'll see doors that just go into another area. It's just a larger space so we can space out. And so the counselors and CCR teachers are heading there now. And so we are happy to stay and answer all the questions that you have. And you are dismissed at this time. Thank you again for coming.